good to be here, bro.
Good to see you, my friend.
Yeah.
We're up and at 'em. What's going on, man?
Chilling, man. Working hard as always.
Escape from L.A.
Escape from L.A., man. That, you know, every time we go on tour, that's what I look at it like. Any shows, all right, we're getting away for a little bit.
Just take a breather.
Yeah.
Unless I hope L.A. comes back. I really do. I hope it reemerges as what it used to be or better. But
Yeah. You know, I believe it can too.
Sure.
And it possibly might, man, but it's going to take a minute before we get the right people in there.
I know.
Running the spot, man.
Who are the right people, though? That's the problem.
That's hard to say, right? Because,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just hard to trust any politician these days, man. I mean, my friends have hit me up like, hey, when are you going to run for mayor? I'm like, I'm never running for mayor. Are you crazy?
Bro, you would win.
I probably would.
Oh,
and
my God, you would win.
That would be the curse of me, right
It
there.
would be the curse, bro.
Oh,
They
my-
would go digging deep into your past.
Exactly.
Yeah, they'd find a bunch of liars, distort a bunch of facts.
True that.
Come up with a narrative.
As much of an open book as I've been, you know, and open about everything I've done, yeah, they'll always dig deeper to try to find more, especially when you're in that kind of spot, you know?
For sure. Also, if you're an open book, they'll still rewrite your chapters.
They'll rewrite the
They'll go
chapters.
in there and go, no. Let's change this around and make it a lot worse than it really was.
Absolutely.
It's a dirty game.
It's-
Who fucking wants to? That's the problem. Like, who wants to do that job?
You know what? It's crazy. The people that want to do that job these days, they're not there to do any work of what a politician's supposed to do. They're trying to get famous. You know, they want to
Yeah.
be famous for something because now it's a seat to be famous in.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a shame because people that would actually maybe do the work, they don't even got a chance to get in there because they don't want to be famous. They're trying to get in there to do the work. Well, others like, you know, they're like, I got this seat. I'm showboating this shit all, you know, this whole run.
I didn't worry about it at all before COVID.
Yeah.
I'm like, who gives a fuck who the mayor is?
Yeah.
It runs. LA runs. They figure it out. It's crazy. It's chaotic. There's a lot of people, but it works.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, oh my God, that shit's important.
Yeah.
It's so important.
Oh my God.
Who the governor is, who the mayor is, that shit is super important.
You know, when you're young, you don't pay attention to any of that stuff. You're just sort of living,
Right.
you know, going, trying to make your way. And as you get older and you start paying attention to the world and the
Yeah.
news, you're like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, once you have children and once you buy property, you're like, hey,
And you're paying taxes.
what the fuck is going on?
Oh.
They keep jacking up the taxes in California.
Oh, my
the
God.
tents keep stacking up. I have hope. I root for them. I hope this new mayor, I hope she nails it.
Yeah. Hopefully she does something about
Hopefully.
it. But it does cost a lot to live in California these days. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It would be great if it went to a good thing. Like if it cost a lot, but everyone was taken care of. They dealt with the homeless situation. They dealt with the crime. They dealt with the poverty. They dealt with all the bullshit. But that doesn't seem to be the case.
It's not it. I mean, you know, like, so cannabis, we know, generates California a huge amount of you know,
Yeah.
capital, right? And where did it go? Where does it go?
Where
right?
does it go?
They don't ever tell you where it goes, but I could tell you there's a bridge up there on 6th Street. Had to get the money from somewhere, right?
Yeah. Well, cannabis, I mean, what is the amount that cannabis is generating for California? It's got to be enormous.
Yeah, it was for a time.
For a time, it's not anymore?
It goes up and down. You know, in the pandemic, oddly enough, people had a lot of money to spend because of the checks and stuff like that. But now the checks have run out and they got less money to spend. So, you know, it's always a roller coaster ride as it relates to what sales will be.
There it is right there.
Yeah.
Marijuana tax revenue, $1,294,632,799.
I believe we're the highest tax state as it relates to cannabis, and it's crazy. It's
Yeah, look at the difference between Colorado, which also has a lot of weed, only 423 million.
Yeah, they gouge us, man. I mean, we saved. Well, the industry saved the state. I mean, you know, you lived there
Yeah.
for many years, and California was in debt.
Yeah.
We had no surplus. Now we got surplus. We could build bridges that are multi-million-dollar bridges.
I had Mariana Van Zeller on the podcast from that television show Trafficked. I don't know if you've seen that show. It's a great show on the National Geographic.
It's
crazy. Like, she's boots on the ground journalist. She goes into the jungle where the cocaine manufacturers are. She went to the Congo for dealing with people that are trafficking in the great apes. Wild show. Wild shit. But she was talking about one of the problems with California is it's so difficult to get a license to sell weed regularly that the like illegal sales of weed are up way more than regular. So they're not getting taxed on that because they made it difficult for people.
Yeah. The people that operate legally are the ones getting tapped the hardest because you got to pay for all these regulations and all these fees and the taxation, whether you're in the cultivation aspect of it or you're the retail manufacturer, distribution, any of it, man. I mean, it's the taxation to operate is high, and the taxes on the consumer as well. So when you have that factored in, and you got these guys that are trapping, as they call it, right, black market style, they're making all the money, and the state isn't really doing anything about that, and they make it hard to get a license for people who might actually be able to navigate the business, but it's just so many hoops you got to jump through, man.
So much regulation. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but at least it's legal now.
Yes.
I mean, I remember in 2016 when it became legal, we were in the middle of a podcast.
Yeah.
We were doing the End of the World podcast during the election live at the Comedy Store, and then it came out that marijuana passed and it's legal. Yeah. And everybody cheered. It was amazing. The whole place went, yeah. But it's just it's crazy that legally, like federally, it's illegal.
Yeah.
It's still Schedule 1.
You know, what's crazy is that more states are rolling over, like, you know, because the federal government is leaving it up to the state to decide, right? And some states are seeing what's happening in places like Colorado and where the taxation ain't so high, and they are actually making a lot of money, or the state is making a lot of money through cannabis. They're starting to consider it, right? So you're seeing states roll over one at a time, like New York. For instance, we thought that should have been like way sooner.
Yeah.
But we thought, okay, when New York rolls, then let's just say Florida and Boston roll, everywhere else will roll over slowly. And that's kind of what's happening. So, I mean, I think it's just a matter of time, man, where we will have it federally legal, but we're going to all pay the price until.
Yeah, then mushrooms. Mushrooms got to make its way through.
Oh, man, they got to make it. You know, what's crazy is the studies that they've been coming up with as of late, like how they've been using microdose and moderate dose to treat people with depression and anxiety and all the other business. You know what I mean?